Okay, cool. Right, are we on? Where's my Twitch stream? We're on. Okay, it's the 13th of November. I've been having a couple of issues with my internet connection, but it seems to be running now. Yeah, it seems to be running okay now. So, I haven't done many of these recently. Just I've been busy with work. Real work, paid work, that is. I've been working on Star Marine quite a bit lately. Sorry, sweating a bit. It's kind of warm in here. Yeah, that's going quite well. Should be showing it pretty soon, which I'm a little bit anxious about. I did, I guess, a little talk about it that might be on one of the various YouTube shows that CIG put out. I was a bit nervous. Hopefully it doesn't show. Yeah, so I'm just working on finishing off Jack still in any time I'm not working on Star Marine. So yeah, the game's basically done. I've just got a couple of balance things. So spawn rates of candles seem a bit off. There's some things getting deleted on screen, but yeah, it's mainly just tweaking things. Ideally, I could release it now and then put out some patches, but I'd rather just put out one good release. I did just realize I haven't actually... Things getting... Okay, yeah, it's working. Just needed to check the stream was working. Okay, so... Oh yeah, and I finally tried cleaning myself up a little bit. I need to start running again and getting fit and healthy and whatnot. Got my hair cut though, so that's cool. Look less mullety now, which is nice. So yeah, I'm just gonna run the build. I have been poking at bits of the game that I probably didn't need to, but what are you gonna do? I also, well, you'll see. I need to replace this loading screen with the splash screen. Okay, it's all the same. So it's a bit... I've done a bit of a George Lucas. I've put a bit of stuff around the edge of the screen, like you know, a few little stones here. And it's like when in the special editions when he shoved that thing around R2 when he's in the cave. He's like a couple of rocks. I'm that bad now. I'm that guy. But actually, there is a reason for this. I was going through cleaning up the build, deleting all the old stuff that I wasn't using anymore. And yeah, like basically I took things that I was just going to throw away and just shoved them in the game. So like there were these platforms that were for one of the boss battles. That's obviously not in the game anymore. And these little wall pieces were part of that as well. So I just kind of shoved them in the title screen because that was reusing another asset. I think the balance has kind of shifted a little bit, unfortunately, because of that. But I think it could be just because I'm used to seeing it. Like when I see it full screen, it looks a bit hard to kind of get a read on it. But when I see it on the second monitor, which is closer to the mobile device, like it kind of, well, it looks pretty good actually. I'm quite happy with it. Give them a little bit of grass around here or something, or moss or something. But yeah, I'm not going to go full George Lucas on it. Oh yeah, and there's the new logo, which you would have seen briefly as my wallpaper. So yeah, that's the new logo for the game. Slightly cleaned up, a little less detailed, but it's a bit bolder. So yeah, new logo. That's something I'm going to be showing on the new website when it's done. And there it is. Right, so another thing I've got on my list here is raise the unlock scores. So currently I've got nearly 7.5 million. Most of that on these levels because I've been trying to unlock one of my characters that's kind of hard to unlock, which might be a sign that it's a a bit too difficult to do. We'll see. For now, I'm just gonna leave the character unlocker where it is, and probably raise the amount of score you need to be able to unlock the last few levels. Because at the moment, the final level here, I think it's 2.75 million, and that's quite low. I've got that in. Yeah, not entirely far off doubling that in Old Londonium. So, yeah, so I need to lower that score overall, but that's not crucial right now. One of the things I wanted to look into, we got the left browser style theme there now, finally. One of the things I wanted to look into was the spawn rate of candles, which seems to be okay on some levels. This level is quite a lot, so it feels about right. Basically, the logic is every 2 or 3 platforms. I think it's basically, it checks if it's every 2 or every 3, but it checks twice for every 2. If that makes any sense. So it's like 2, 2, 3. There's double the chance that it'll be every 2 platforms. That makes sense. And the platform width has to be above 40. That's basically because if you're always going to whip on your way down from a jump, so it's a descending action. So you're going to be generally holding down the jump button to get to the peak of your jump, and then you release it and click again, or tap again, as the game will actually be played, to throw the whip, which means there's a high chance that you'll still be holding your finger down, or thumb, and you won't have very long at least to react to the edge of the platform. So I wanted to make sure that there was enough of a platform for you to be able to react if you went for a candle on a thin platform. So there's basically a minimum of 40, which is a tiny bit bigger than that. So that's basically the minimum there. So yeah, so that's basically the candle logic on this level. It's quite a straightforward level. This is like I think you could probably play this one forever. Obviously, there's certain points where luck will be on your side, and other times where it won't. Like just then, if you were going at a high speed, that could have probably screwed me over. And yeah, the way the double grass works, like I basically need to get another patch of grass, a small patch of grass within, I think it's around 7 platforms. And if I was to get that, then I would be able to go forever if I wasn't concentrating on the camera as well. But yeah, basically every 7 platforms you get the chance to get a small piece of grass that will slow you down to the stage before the long pieces of grass were spawning, so you'd end up in this kind of loop of going back to your old speed and then moving back up to it and then down again. And basically a small cycle where you can just keep getting points. That's the idea anyway. And this level, that works fine. Some of the other levels, not so much. This one seems pretty good. Oh, this level is weird and green. All I've been doing since I've not been streaming is basically cleaning up some of the code. Well, I just hit 1,000 candles. What do you know, the achievements work. Hitting 10,000 candles is going to take some time. Especially if that's the stuff happens. What I am going to do is check on the levels that I do have more of a problem with, and that's Green Grove. It's not quite... the balance isn't quite there. But it's chill. I've recently just added trees to this level actually, which I don't mean the background trees, I mean the foreground ones. They don't happen that often in this level, but they do happen, which, there you go. It's something that was missing from the level before. Hey, see, this level's quite tricky because of those rocks. Yeah, they're a bit harsh right now. I thought there was going to be problems this level. It's so hard balancing an infinite runner, you know, because without the set level, it's very difficult to work out whether or not something's fair or not. Like, if you have a level that's got a beginning and an end, as long as you can get to the end, then it's fair, but infinite runners can technically have impossible situations. I mean, you could chalk that up to the fact that it's random and you just have to live with that, but I don't know, I think you can be more elegant than that. I'm sorry, this is going really fast. I have to concentrate. That's not my fault. Okay. See, that's the problem with the random. Yeah, that's a bit hard. See, I think there might be too many rocks, but I think I put that in. I made it that way because it was as a response to it not being exciting enough, I guess. That's another problem with the random element of it. You can't really set things up. You can't build. You can build some form of a curve like the way I've got it with the way the speed loop happens, but you can't pace it in the way that you can a standard, you know, a linear game. I really should have made one of those, really. Okay, so that level probably needs a little bit of work. For once, I don't have a pen yet, but I'll use my lovely new phone. Okay. Oh, I've already made a note of this, actually. The rocks need to be addressed. Okay, so... yeah. Shall I do that now, or I'll look at the... Oh, I'm going to look at the Citadel, then I'll do that. Yeah, I'm getting a bit feature creepy now. I look at this and I go like, well, I don't really like the way that sprite looks anymore. It looks fine with the hat, but without the hat, little Trump hair, I don't like it very much. This colour scheme on this level actually doesn't really fit it as well. Now you see that cog disappeared there on the edge of the screen. That killed me actually. Yeah, it's getting deleted too soon. I think it might be the collision mesh is going off the side. Yeah, that's terrible. I need to fix that. So I did want to look at the fire as well and see if I can get that any better. I kind of want to put back to the menu actually because I hate this colour scheme on this level. Interesting, I mean, they don't all work on every level. Yeah, this one's much better. It's not actually that much different, but it just, I think the purple matches the theme more. Okay, so I'm looking at the fireballs right now, seeing if I can improve them. And obviously for the balance of power from cogs is falling. Alright, so the fireball, I need to hit the next one. I like that. Okay, so it's called disappearing. Yeah, the explosion when you hit the the explosion when you hit the fireball isn't very it could do with some more. It's kind of tempting to flash the background white for like a single frame. I do that when you hit a wall. Yeah, so when they disappear, you're classed as falling, so you're unable to jump. So if you hit the jump at the same time, then you fall. But okay, right. Let's look into the cogs. Where's my engine gone? There it is. Okay. Right, let's look into the cogs because they seem to be the biggest problem, and I'm going to rename them because I think they've got the wrong name right now. I think they might be called spikes or grass or something. They're called the wrong thing anyway. The ingredients, and that is level 4. Yep, it's called grass. Okay, let's change that to cogs, and then cogs. Cogs double. Is that how I've done that? Have I made 2 next to each other? Wait, no, I don't even know what that is. What even is this? Oh, so it's a cog? Is that in the background of the level? I can't remember. I don't remember making one of those, but maybe there is one. Well, it looks like it is. What's that cool? Yeah, okay. I forgot I did a background one. Okay, so large cog. Small cog. Let's give them a BG prefix. Because that's really confusing. Okay. Checking the chat's working. It is. So it's all quiet today though. So what's this thing called? This little pin. Okay, level 4. Let's just call that pin. And we'll call that plate. It's still a cog, I know, but it looks more like a plate from the side. Okay, so that shouldn't be in that folder. Yeah, pin and plate, they should be in the backgrounds for that level. Move that around a little bit. It's only organization, but it does make a difference. It can be quite confusing. Okay, so cogs, right. So if there's 2 next to each other, I'm currently just rotating them the same way. I could change it. I could make it so one was kind of rotating the other way and the other wasn't, and I could make it so you could run in the foreground of one of them. But it's such a minor thing, and I don't want to make a large cog, which I was going to do in the original. In the original idea, I was going to have this like large disc that you'd be walking on, but not worth the time. I did want to make a unique crate asset. What did this used to look like? Oh dear. A couple of abortions in there. Right. That looks like it's made for a totally different style. Like, so much more shading and stuff on there than I usually use. Like, that's kind of a lot more like my kind of thing. Or that. Not that. Closer. Yuck. These things are just making this file size larger. I should probably delete all of them. It's not like they're particularly special. I need to be... Oh, I might come back to this. No, I won't. I still would have preferred to have made a new item for this. Like, maybe even like some like tables and chairs with like sheets over the top of them or something. But I'm trying to think of how that would look in this game's visual style. It's just no, maybe not. Right. So what I'm looking for is level 4 cogs. Easier, much easier to find. It'll be in the game code, obviously. Right, so it's in level 4. Is that the only place it could be? Ah, okay, so that's where the cleanup happens. So if its X value, which is probably in the center, is less than half its width, destroy it. I guess that might be taking its X value from its center point to the edge of itself, maybe? Or it probably means the center point is going off screen, which would mean if it's at its midpoint, it would delete it too soon. So what I want to do is... Well, first I want to see how often I'm spawning the things. Is it often enough? Right, okay, so... Great, blah, 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 blah. That's how the platforms are formed. Right, okay, so every single block that gets spawned could technically be a cog if the block type is called cog, which I set. I think I'm doing that every frame. I'm just basically rolling a dice, like, what die is it? Dice, die? Rolling a die? Die, I think. Doesn't sound right now. Anyway. Yeah, so I'm basically doing a dice roll. Yeah, dice roll sounds better. To see if it's going to be a cog or if it's going to be grass or fire or whatever. All the different types of platforms that can spawn or events. And if it is, it creates the object. Then it creates a platform that's exactly the same size as the object. So it's basically, if you ever see a cog, it's on a cog platform. Yeah, that doesn't actually determine. But they can be quite regular then, as long as the speed's above 160 and lower than 240. Okay, so we just need to work out how it's being destroyed, and we know it's being destroyed like this. So let's find cleanup. Let's get rid of that. Cleanup, right. Where are you, cog? I should have put these in level order or something. But it's there, so that's fine. Alright, so there must be some better ways of destroying that. If its X value is less than 0. That only works if the center point's off, I think. That is confusing though, because it should be destroying it when its X value is less than itself. But what is its... Less than itself width. Oh, but its self width is... Struggling to work this out. So we've got this. So its width is... Well, it's 48. If this is off the screen at 48, so where is it now? It's 25. Minus 24. Hmm. Wait a sec. So at 0, it's halfway. That probably needs to be... Wait. 48. Maybe it should be minus its width. Is that crazy to think that? I'll put one in the game just to see. If I... Well, maybe a bit further away than that, because I'll walk into it to start. I think... If I was to set that to minus its width... Oh. They're all minus its width, except that one, right? Yeah, that was a bug. Like, as in, it was just a typo. Everything else is minus. I didn't even need to do anything to work that out. Just needed to read. Okay, well, I'll run it anyway, just to see. That was an easy fix. More of those, please. Alright, I should be running this at full width, but... Yeah, I'm really looking forward to people seeing Star Marine, actually. I've been working on it for quite a while, actually. I was working on... sorry, concentrating. It's fine. Yeah, I was working on Squadron 42 for quite a while. Basically, the first year of my employment at CIG, I was working on Squadron 42. I guess it's been... I've probably been on Star Marine for about 4 months now, and I'm kind of, I guess at least in the studio I'm in the UK, I'm kind of, I guess, the level design guy, and well, various other design tasks, but yeah, I'm the level design guy, so it's going to be pretty exciting to see levels that I've worked on, like, in the hands of others, like not including QA, you know, just like the public seeing what they think. One of the levels was entirely by me. Another one was one that I picked up from another CIG guy who's now back on Squadron 42, but I picked it up and like sort of reworked it with the changes I made to the game. But all this will come up in the future. Maybe Friday, I think. Some of this stuff will be talked about and stuff. I don't know. Yeah, it's going to be really cool. I'm really looking forward to seeing it out in the open, because it's been quite a while since I've worked on something that has been released. Because all of my Squadron 42 stuff is still being worked on, like no longer by me, but other people have carried it on. So that'll be really cool to see, actually, because it's, you know, even though I'm not like on it anymore, I'm still quite proud of what I did on it, and there's a lot of Far Cry. Well, my work on Far Cry is definitely visible in there, so that's quite cool to see. Right, let's try and run the game without... Yeah, so what I need to do is not crunch the scale down, just have it so that it's scale outer, I think I need to have it on. Basically, I want to be able to see outside the edges of the game. This will be the one, I think. So I should get loads of like weird stuff on the edge of the screen, but I need to because I want to make sure that things are being deleted when they're meant to be deleted. Yeah, so this is all screwed up. That's good. Right, so what I want to do is manually get it to the right size. Yeah, so there should be some like little guides at the sides for me to kind of work out. Please excuse the wonky looking pixels. Well, there will be some. But it's not actually too bad here. It's quite nice seeing it in full widescreen. This is what people usually see, actually. I just play it in this weird crunched down version when I'm testing. Yeah, you get all this stuff in the background, which you don't usually see. Although these corner pixels really bother me. Oh, that's a bug. I wonder if the screen will shake if I click. Nope. But I need to fix that. Yeah. I'm just going to make a quick note of that. It's, yeah. I didn't realise that was there. Oh, hello. Now you can see what it's trying to shoot. So what was I doing? Yeah, I need to see if the cogs are getting deleted at the right time. I should have been running this in debug to actually make sure that it is getting deleted, but it's fine. Well, that seems to be okay. I'll just wait until I see the next one. Yeah, you get so much more space in widescreen. Well, like room to breathe. It's great. What was I doing? I was getting too excited about all the space. Really different. Very bright black and white colour scheme there. I just need to run the debugger now and check to see if the background's actually working correctly. Sorry, the cog's being deleted, the background is working correctly. So I was just looking at that to see if the my changed names hadn't screwed something up. It all seems fine. Okay. Let's run that in the debugger now. Alright, I need to resize this again. Ideally, I'd be able to get it set to a size where you can see some of the pixels look all like sort of stretched in some places. Like the edge of that candle isn't rendering there, like these bits are extra. Just because it's not scaling with an integer value. Like that's exact actually. This is the scale, correct scale. Right, so I need to watch something. It was level 4 cogs, alright. There's 0 instances of that as expected. Good. Whoa. Okay, this menu does not like the debugger at all. Wow. Okay, what is causing that? Okay. Get off the screen as soon as possible. I guess I've never run this menu on the debugger before. Wow, this is causing all sorts of problems. Okay, right now we've got... Right, there it is. Level 0 cog. Right, let's resume that. And it's deleted. Great. Okay, that worked. I have no idea why the debugging destroys the frame rate like that. That's nuts. It's running fine in game. It's okay now though. Is that because I was a cog up there? Oh, I guess it's the one in the help screen. Haha, there it is. Yes, I'm using real in-game assets on the help screen. Even this little dude, he's actually using game code to jump. He's jumping over the menu sometimes. That's not intentional. It's just because that animation's just a bit slower than I originally thought. Yeah, sometimes he's jumping up just because it's using game code, whereas that isn't. That's actually just basically a GIF, and yeah, I use a hard key. Okay, that's a bug fixed. Wow, I'm happy. Let's get rid of that. That's awesome. I mean, all I had to do was add a minus to its deletion script, but quite easy. Yeah. So yeah, I've probably talked a little bit more about Star Marine than I usually like. Oh well, my job, you know, on Star Citizen a bit more than I usually do on these things. Just because it is all I've been doing lately. It's sorry, I'm just trying to find where that task is on my task list so I can delete it. There it is. Right. Yeah, I've been talking a little bit more about Star Marine and Star Citizen and stuff in general a bit more lately, just because, like I said, I've been working on it a lot, and we're getting close to a release of something, and that makes a fairly big difference, you know, like, because you can't really talk about stuff if it's not ready, and it doesn't really feel real until you're getting close to releasing something, right? So yeah, it's been on my mind quite a bit, and yeah, I've been working on it a lot, so that's why I've been talking about it a bit more. As for what else I've been doing, I need to write an update for Noonan design. I haven't done the October update yet. Don't really know what I'm going to be covering. Trying to finish this damn game. I guess in October there was the Global Defense Corps game jam, which I need to talk about. I'm still writing I'm slowly writing the post-mortem for that. It's almost done. I just need to. Basically, I did an interview with Kotaku, and it's quite long, and I need to kind of reformat it to fit a post-mortem post, I guess. Post-mortem post, right? On my website. So once I've done my October update, I'll do a post-mortem for that. And I actually have a post-mortem I still need to write for a game I was working on. Well, a game jam I did for a game called My Strange Alien Friend, which I haven't really talked about much because it wasn't a very good experience for me. I think the rest of the team enjoyed it and they, got something out of it. But because we didn't really ship a game, and what we did, we did ship something, but I wasn't happy with what we did ship. I kind of brushed it under the carpet a bit and got a bit bitter about game jams and didn't do one for a little while. But this last one fixed that, so I now feel okay to go back to this. Basically, go back to this post-mortem and sort of look at it in a different light. Because I think a lot of the problems were mine. They weren't to do with my team, they were more to do with me and the team. I wanted different things, and at the time I didn't really realise that it was because I'd kind of moved in a different direction to the rest of the team. And that put me off game jams, so I was blaming game jams, and really I should have been just blaming myself, and I really needed to do a solo jam or something, which I should go back to the 1 hour game jams. They're pretty cool. I just think I'm a bit rusty. Like, it takes me a while to get through this stuff, you know. Because my bar for polish has got so much higher, and that's kind of why that jam went so bad. But I'm spoiling the the post-mortem, which should be in a week or so. It might be longer, just because I'm so busy at the moment. I've got this to finish, and I've got like I was saying, Star Marine to finish. And yeah, I'll still do the October update. I'll probably get most. Yeah, I might get that done tonight. It's quite late, but yeah, I'll get that done tonight, and hopefully the post-mortem for Global Defense Corps will come in the next few days. Currently thinking about working on that for iOS. Like, maybe that could be the next game after this. Maybe. That was definitely the plan up until a few days ago, when I realised that, well, me and Pete were the guys working on it, mostly. Obviously Barry did the music, but actually working on it code-wise, it was Pete and I. Well, I doing the design, Pete did the code, I did the art, and both of us designed it. And he was going full steam ahead with it, but he became a bit busy with other things. I started to do a mock-up, and then work started getting crazy, and yeah, it's sort of gone back into limbo again. Maybe it'll be the next thing after this. I need to get this out of the way, really. I can't juggle 2 projects, not with having a job and this, you know. I need to give myself some time. So yeah, and obviously my job is more important than this. Like, this is important to me, but it's important to me in a hobby way. Like, the game I'm working on in my job is the most important thing, obviously. So I need to focus on those before I start working on other projects. So that's kind of put to the side for now. Right, where was I? Oh yeah, I was going to start a new task, wasn't I? What are we looking at? So, spawn rates of candles. That means playing the levels a little bit, raising the unlock scores. I could do that now. Yeah, I'm going to do that now. So what are they? Let's have a look. Nope, need to get to the map. It's the map. Okay. And yeah, this is a secret, yes. Alright. That isn't. Although, if someone actually manages to click on these things, which you should be able to do actually, like currently if you stretch your monitor out, or stretch the screen across 2 monitors or something, you should actually be able to click that, and if you did, you would probably access a level I've deleted. It would still sort of work, but I will be deleting those before I launch the PC version. So, right, so we've got, that's 1 million. That seems awfully low. The first level's obviously free, then you've got 250,000, then 500,000, and then 1 million, and 2 million, then 2.75. Yeah, you see, I think that needs to be 3, at least. Could be more though, it could really just double every time. I'm gonna do it. One of the things I was scared of, and this comes kind of from, I guess this comes kind of from like all my years in AAA and like working on places like Ubisoft and stuff, where you've got this mentality where it's sort of drilled into you that if you make anything, if there's any content ever created, if anyone spent any time on anything, the player must see it. Like, the idea of having something that only like 1% of players are going to see, like, that goes out right out the window. It's one of those things you enter the industry, it's like, oh, I'm going to stick all these cool little secrets in that only like a couple of people or my friends will see or something. And yeah, it's not like that. not even slightly. Because everything you do needs to be tested by QA, and it needs to be yeah, basically you've got it. Shit. What's the word? What's the saying I'm trying to come up with? Basically, there's consequences to literally everything you do. I was going to say shit rolls downhill, and I was going to say about how dumb, but I'm not going to go like that down that route. I'm going to say basically, if you stick something in like a small like reference to something, that's got to go through like legal to make sure that reference isn't like copyrighted or somebody isn't going to sue, which is one of the reasons why a lot of like developers aren't allowed to have their names in Ubisoft games, because apparently in the past somebody did make an issue of it. I don't know who, and I don't know what project it was on, but I did hear that going through the halls, you know. And yeah, there is a knock-on effect for everything. Like, if you do something that's like, I don't know, like a secret room that you need to be able to open up, like by doing some weird set of instructions or something, that's got to be QA'd, and yeah, and then there could be like viz area issues where like that could be like increasing rendering times or something. It's just there's so many things that can happen. So basically, secrets are very rare. I can't even remember how I even got onto that subject now. Right. Anyway, let's find what I was actually trying to do. Right. Set up these scores. So for oh yeah, that was what I was talking about it. Right. So I was paranoid because of my AAA background and not being able to. Having to have everything unlocked and seen by the player. This level's kind of is the nicest looking level in the game, probably, or it's the most active one. And I set the score to a low score so that I believed, with there being such a natural curve in difficulty in the game, that there would be people would basically see it if they played the game. They wouldn't have to fight the game or be challenged to get there. You just get there naturally. Because I didn't want it to be wasted. But at the same time, if you give everything away for free, you don't spend any time in that level, or you never really learn the intricacies of it because you're never having to fight or work through it. It's something that I guess Dark Souls. I'm not comparing my game to Dark Souls, but I mean Dark Souls had that. Players started to get an appreciation for the content they're working with because they spent time in the environments, they worked in their levels, and they basically worked out how to fight the level and the enemies. It wasn't just get through the enemies to get to the end of the level, they were fighting the level as well. And it's something that I think we've started to lose over time as campaigns have become bigger. Like, look at games like GoldenEye, I hate to bring up old references because it makes me sound old or like less relevant, but they are relevant. Like, there were look at a level like Damn, the first level of GoldenEye, where you got people who play it on Agent and they go through, and I think all you had to do on Agent was get to the end. I think I might be wrong about that, but there wasn't much to do. Whereas when you ramp the difficulty up, you basically had other objectives to like destroy all the alarms or something. They're basically different objectives that make you have to explore wider parts of the map. And we started to lose that as shooters started to become more popular because it was more about throwing all the set pieces and making everything look expensive. Like more set pieces, less like, and as that price goes up, then you can't have two set pieces where you only see one of them. You have to make sure that they see all of it, otherwise you've wasted money. And I think Dark Souls is kind of going back towards that more GoldenEye style approach. I mean, this is a weird around. What am I even talking about? But yeah, that's why my scores were so low, and now I'm going to bring them up again because they should be. They're just going to double every time though. I think that's a nice compromise, so it's easy to tell. It's like, right, I need quarter, I need half, then I need 1, 2, 4. Right, great, cool, I can do that. Okay, but I'm gonna have to search the damn code now to make sure that that's not the only time it's shown. Apologies for that rant, but it's something that has bothered me for a while. game. Where else could that be referenced? I really wish I made this a variable. I'm having to look through everything now. I think. No, there is one. Spoke a little too soon there. Of course I'm going to have to test that, but I think that should be everything. I'll run the game, but it won't make a difference because I've already locked the level. Unlocked the level, rather. I don't usually rant about that sort of stuff. I don't know why I was... Obviously I'm just talking to myself, but this is kind of... This goes up on YouTube afterwards, so... Kind of weird for me to have a rant of any description. We'll go a little hole. I think that looks a bit strange. It looks a little bit like there's a white thing, because it's not low enough down. Yeah, I might plug that little hole, it doesn't look right. Okay. Well, yeah, it's not going to make a difference right now, is it? Well, I have upped it, so I can remove that task. Yeah. What else is on the list? On the phone list, that is. I guess there's the crosshair menu bug, splash screen, that heat wibble. Alright, I just found one that I decided not to do. Candles every 2 to 3 platforms, that depends on the difficulty. Platform generation. Sorry, I needed to shake my phone to undo something. Okay. Right. I'll play a different level and see if I can get a different spawn rate on the candles. Let's go full snowman on this one. That was a bit harsh. I've got a feeling this will not be a very popular character to play as. Just doesn't feel as good as the other characters. It looks kind of cool. Gone off it lately. When I first made it, it was like cool because it was all like bouncy and it was a different form to the characters. You know, he's punching rather than whipping. I thought that was kind of cool, but yeah, I don't find the movement as predictable. Yeah, sounds cool. So at the moment, I'm looking out to see if the piles of snow are ever hanging over the edge of the platform. So far they're not. They're close to the edge, but they're not hanging over the edge. I think maybe the double ones might be there. That's what I've got in my notes anyway. But candle frequency seems pretty good. Not seeing many rocks. But I haven't seen many. But candle generation seems decent. It's a little lower because of the thin platform. bit faster. Yeah, I need to start skipping the snow because we're going too fast to see the snow pile. Good excuse to hear more of this music though. Here's me being a little bit of a secret. It could be possible in this run. Could be possible in this run for me to unlock Chet the Speed Rider, which is the last character to unlock. It might be. At the moment I'm going a bit too bad. I'll let you know if I'm going to. Those single ones. See, now I'm getting close to unlocking them, I'm getting a bit scared. Right, that was over the edge. Right, okay. That was probably too thin a platform for that to appear on. I'm basically trying to test two bugs right now. Well, not bugs, but... Right, that was way over the edge, it was too thin. That could be what I need to check, or change, rather. Okay. Might unlock chat, that's right. Basically, I'm trying to see if it's too hard to do. that was a close one. Basically, what number am I thinking? Oh god. I'm trying to do this for real. I'm not fucking about. I do want to like, what number am I thinking of? I was pretty close to getting what I needed then. Without giving it away. And that's how you get a massive score, when you're trying to like unlock chat, it seems. Okay, right, so whilst trying to unlock this guy, we discovered what was wrong with the platform or at least the cog generation. Yeah, oh, that's so annoying. That was so close. But it shows how possible it is. But it's not just the number you've got to get. There's something else happens as well. It's very difficult for really no reason, but it's fun. It's a fun challenge for me, which is kind of cool because the game feels quite easy to me outside of that. It does show there's still challenge though, which is nice. Sorry, I just got to send a message. In the meantime, nice music on. Okay. Right. I'm not gonna try and do that again. I'm just, whenever I can, I'm just like whipping a couple of candles to legitimately get the 10,000 candle achievement, which is gonna take me so long. I really want to get it legitimately before I launch. To prove that it works, without, you know, just tricking the numbers or whatever. I mean, it has to. It's like, just maths, right? but I just don't feel comfortable launching a game with achievements that might not be working properly. So that's how far up am I? Oh, I gotta get 10,000. Why did I make that achievement? Well, on the bright side, I might get the 250k achievement. Right. So it's this one and this one. So once I've got this one and this one, then I unlock chat, which I got really close to doing just then. I then get the unlock everything, and that's all the achievements, and that's how you get your, what they call on PlayStation Platinum. That's how you'll get it. Yeah. Okay. I do need to add a little reference somewhere to the fact that the font I use on here is actually Alagard. It's by, I can't remember the guy's name now, but there's a guy who made the font, and I'd like to credit him. So I need to find a bit of space to put him in there. I'll just be like, oh, bump this all up a little bit and just say font by Alagard, font by someone. Forgot his name. I think it's nope. Yeah, everything else in the game I made myself, so I don't need to credit anyone else. I guess it would be nice to have a tester menu, but I haven't had any formal testing. I've got people to play the game a little bit, but no formal testing. I'll put a list on the website of everyone who's kind of helped out, like a special thanks thing. I don't want to clog the menus up with more stuff, like as enough as there is. Not that people's names are clogging, it's just maybe I'll have a testing page. Maybe we'll see. I do kind of like to credit people for stuff, so yeah. I'll just take this out. It's giving me an earache. Okay, right. So it was double snow on that level, so that'll be in level setup, and this is a hell of a. This part of the script is really hard to go through. I'm just gonna find it instead. What level is that? That's level 3, I think? Yeah, 3. Right, so let's call this level 3 snow instead of grass. So I'm cleaning the project up as well, so everything helps. So that is 24 wide. Wait, no it's not, it's 48 wide. 24 is the midpoint. Find that in here. Okay. Alright, so that generates, so it creates. This is the one that creates the double one, so it never checks for log type normal. It's gotta probably check for the width as well. So where do I do that elsewhere? There. So the width has to be at least. Is that for the double one? Yes. Is that how I do that usually? Doesn't seem right. I did have that for one of the other levels. So. Yeah, it is. Okay. I take that back. And yeah, hello to anyone new that's watching. Thanks. I'll be moving on to a new game soon, don't worry. This is a late game right now. Almost done. So 48. So that's 80. Yeah. I guess I'll make it 100. So it's got to be over 100 to spawn the double snow patches. That seems fair. And for the single ones, I'm going to make sure it's over 50. Yeah, that should have fixed that. I've got to play it a little bit more to find that. I have to just test it now. Save as I'm saving a little bit. This could be another chance to. Wow, I'm getting tired. I want coffee. I could grab a coffee, I guess. But I won't because it's quite late. Yeah, so the artist is basically done with the new cover for the game. You know, the splash screen art and the the storefront art that you'll see on iTunes and eventually Steam. He's done with that stuff. It's pretty damn good. I'm quite happy with it. Should be showing that in the Noonan Design November update. When hopefully I'm ready to launch the game, because it's looking like I'm going to have to launch this in December, which means I've got to get it into submission for the end of November, and that's my girlfriend's birthday, and that kind of takes priority. So yeah, we'll see. Right, let's load this up. See if I fix that snow thing. Should mean it's quite easy to fix the cog thing as well, because I just basically got to do the same thing. I'll leave it to look rough, I won't bother resizing it. Fine. Got these little bars at the side anyway, it's just this, it means the score's going to be off screen a little bit. Yeah, so these bars will cover it, but it means the distance and accuracy will be slightly off the edge. Fine. Right, let's go blocks. Let's go with Jill. No, let's go with Noonan. Yeah. Okay, so we're looking to either, I guess, unlock chat at this rate. But generally, we're looking to see if snow hangs over the edge of any of the platforms. Won't get anywhere with that kind of performance. Yeah, so you can see when you've got like an unbound resolution like this, it just ends up where the percentage is kind of hanging off and the distance is as well. So yeah, that's something I need to work out a solution for when I actually do a PC version, or well, basically a Steam version. Yeah, I need to kind of plan that one out as well, because that's the Steam version will have to be next year. There's no getting around that. Accept it. I refuse to let this game go past its birthday this year, and it already is by a month, so 2 months now actually. So yeah, didn't stick to that one. Quite a few times I've been nice, that was my idea. Quite a few times where I'm feeling my feet kick a little bit, which is good, because it means I'm on edge, which is kind of where I want people to be. And if I'm experiencing that now, then people are going to be experiencing that a lot sooner, because I've played this game for nearly 2 years, so I'm assuming I'm quite good at that. Ooh, that platform is a bit thin. Maybe need to up. I say I'm quite good at it. No, yeah, I need to probably up the thickness of the single snow patches. I said minimum width of 50 for it. Yeah, maybe that could be. Maybe that could be 64. No, it's starting to get too big at that point. Say 58, and then let's say 112 maybe. Yeah. And we'll go from the loader again. Only reason I have to go through the loader every time, not be able to skip straight to the levels, is because I'm currently testing all the achievements properly. So I need to get realistic data from it. So if I jump to the menus, it kind of screws a lot of stuff up. So yeah, on the PC, that's going to say 2014 to 2017. That annoys me, because that's a long time. A really long time to work on one. Go Noonan again. Go for the original colour scheme for it. So yeah, when that beta hits 4, that's when I'm shipping. It'll be soon. This will go up 0.1 today. And I still need to do some testing to get it working on iPhone, because I can't for the life of me get it to export. Well, sorry, not even export, it's get it onto the App Store. The application loader is blocking me, and I don't know why. It's really, really annoying. Work out what it is I need to do, so what I'm going to do is do another export tonight. This version of that. I'm going to export it, upload it to Cocoon.io, which is the wrapper I use to get it running on phones. With decent performance and good audio support. Yeah, once I've exported it to Cocoon.io, I can get the cloud version in the morning and then try it, because it'll probably take a few hours. But yeah, it's not launching on Application Loader, which is scaring the hell out of me, because I have no idea how to fix it. I'm going to try and update my Mac and make sure that I'm running the latest version of Xcode and all that kind of stuff, but that's all I can do. I can't do anything else. Can't think of what else it could be. But it's working a couple of weeks back, and I'm wondering if the fact that I got a new iPhone is going to cause some problems, because I think you have to have that registered as part of the. What is it? It's not an APK. Is it? I can't. That's the Android one, I think. IPA. That's the Mac version. iOS version rather. Yeah, I have no idea how to fix that. So I'm quite worried. It would have been okay if I could have just, shipped the PC version in its place and said, look, this is here. I'll make it free for a little while or something until the iOS version is actually updated. But I'd love to be able to put a timer in here and work out whether or not it's Christmas and more Christmas hat. But I don't think my engine supports any of that sort of stuff. Kind of useless to talk around. Yeah, very worried about getting this on phone. One nice thing is I do have a nice new phone to test it on. I haven't seen it on my iPhone 7 screen yet, so that'll be cool. I haven't tried it on Plus either. Okay, alright, it's getting quite difficult. That'll be the limitation I put on it. Okay, right. In fact, I'm actually gonna bump the version number up now. Just save it, I'm going to do an export and then I'll carry on testing the game. Yeah, long distance relationships are kind of tough, man. Although it's a lot easier. I'm going between England and Scotland, not Canada and Scotland, which I was before. Yeah. Anyway, I don't talk about that stuff on here. Right. Let's do an export. I think I do Cordova. Gonna go brute desktop. Give it a new folder. Use WK WebView on iOS, I guess. Always export to Android because I can't remember why. There's a good reason. So, how about that election, huh? What were you doing? I'll give you that there wasn't really a good option. Still, I think there was one that was worse than another. Kinda sucks. But, yeah. Again, I don't talk about that sort of stuff on here. Just exporting isn't very fun. So I did some filming for the for Star Citizen, just recording, talking about Star Marines, and I was so nervous, and I think it's going to come across, and I think it's going to be embarrassing. We'll see, but yeah. It was one of the reasons I sort of actually put my face in these things. I'm trying to get a bit more confident with speaking and appearing on camera and stuff. But it's not the same when I'm just speaking to a cold dead lens here, as opposed to a cold dead lens in a room with people who have some level of expectation of you. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of I don't know. It's hard to say if it's nerves plus embarrassment plus a few things really. Yeah. I need to get better at that stuff. It's certainly not easy. It seems to come easy to so many other people as well. It's frustrating. But yeah. Hopefully it doesn't come across that I'm shaking like a leaf and not very confident. Hopefully. That wouldn't look very professional, would it? And I'm professional, obviously. This is taking forever. Come on. That's what I get for brute force. Or brute. There we go. Compression. Right, so to my knowledge, all I need to do is dump this in a zip file. Why has this started happening? Like, when I go to add things to a zip file in Windows, this error appears. File not found on no read permission. I'm just going to Google this because it's really annoying. Oh, no, I wasn't shaky regarding the election, although I gotta say I was a little bit... It's not my country, so I can't really be too attached to it, but it was... And it's hard to say it was unexpected either. I guess I was a little disappointed. I don't like his font, you know? Trump's font. It looks crap. The one he sticks on his buildings. It looks terrible. Gold. It's so tacky. Like, is it weird to not like a presidential candidate because of their choice of typeface? I don't know. Right. Just checking. I'm just googling this error I'm getting all the time, and it really bothers me. Is use of like I guess it's a really tacky like bold serifed typeface with gold. It just looks crap. Like get with the times, man. Like. And to be fair, I didn't really like Hillary's logo, you know, for her election. She had this it was an H with an arrow, and the arrow was pointing to the right. It's like she's meant to be representing the left. I mean, you don't want. You could say right is going in the right direction, but it does also look like yeah we're right. Like she obviously isn't exactly left wing in comparison to say the Labour Party in the UK or whatever, or anything we're used to over here. But yeah, like it's just a weird logo. It was better than Trump's, obviously, but the horrible serif, bold, like weird kerning. I didn't like that font at all. But yeah, that's a bit like I can say that because it's not my country or my election or anything. Yeah. Obviously, it will affect over here somewhat, but. Right, I've just googled this. What do we got? So, facing from okay, solved. Problem is permissions on temp directory. As you see this, scroll down to most helpful. How many links have I got to click to find this damn thing? Right, most helpful. How'd you get to that? Find your temp. Because this sometimes works. That's the confusing thing. It doesn't always work there. It's weird. Okay, right. I don't know how the hell this thing works these days. Right, just Windows. So I need to go to right click computer. What the hell is that these days? Right, all over the place it seems. Advanced system settings. What's over here now? Environment variables. All right. Okay, I'm just have do not set. I have to set in the. What? I don't understand what he wants me to do. Right, okay. Well, this isn't game development. Okay. Wait, it's looking for Perforce? What the fuck? Alright, that could be what the problem is. Let's delete that. Let's try that again. Well, it still didn't fix it, but still, I shouldn't have had Perforce in there. Or maybe it should have done a broken Perforce now, but... I think I've uninstalled Perforce anyway, so I guess it doesn't matter. What the hell? Right, answer. That's not useful. What the? Okay, screw it. I'm not going to fix this now. It's just annoying. what I will do is just use 7-zip instead. $100 meg. Oh. So it didn't compress the music, so I need to do that. I do have a folder on my desktop with all the compressed versions somewhere. Exports. Media. Right. Basically, I have to make sure that. Let's try it one more time. Nope. Okay, whatever. I need to make sure that my file is under 50 meg. And that's 28, so that's quite far off, which is great. Pull up jack. And what is in the config XML anyway? Okay, nothing really too interesting. Let's jump on Cocoon. But yeah, that election. I'm assuming it's very similar to the way people. About half of America feels the way half of people in the UK felt after Brexit, and I guess the last election we had here, and the Scottish referendum, which I know was a lot more. Well, it was just a split, so it's 50-50 it seems. That's the problem. It's always 50-50. There's never really more than two options. If there was, like, there has been in the past in the UK, and there isn't anymore. Like, well, not the previous government, but the one before. No, it was actually the previous. They had a coalition, and that kind of saw to the fact that there's only two parties now. Terrible. Right, log into Cocoon.io. Never saved my login details, which annoys the hell out of me. Right, where did that go? Chord over exports. Let's drag that in. Okay, that's uploading. What was I going to do? I was going to reduce the amount of spare space around the platforms that were being generated. What was that? Snow, wasn't it? Level 3 snow, crucially. Okay, so that was 112, which I don't need that much space. Basically, it's because the edges, there's about 4 on each side, so it needs to be about 8 more. That's 96, so that's 104. Let's go 108. It's not that much thinner, but it is thinner. And on this side, that needs to be 48 plus 2. Okay, well, maybe that's okay. Yeah, I mean, if I was to round up that 48 one, then I'd get that, and then if I round up that, I'd get that. Yeah, makes sense. Maybe that's a bit tighter, that one, than the other one, but it's okay. That's almost uploaded, wow. Quite fast. Got a process, of course. But before I process it, I need to change all the settings. I can't remember what I meant to set these to. Gonna have to check the Apple website now. This is very annoying. What even is that called? iTunes Connect, isn't it? It was a long week, and it feels like it was a long weekend. Alright, so I've got a view up the page schedule. Nodes update, purchases. Must review the. Right. Okay, so it looks like I've got some stuff I need to approve. That could be why it's not working. Oh, god damn. That's definitely why it isn't working. Well, actually, I won't say definitely. That's a bit stupid. But it's very likely. Contact info. Can I edit that now? No. It still says I'm living in Canada. God damn. I got in touch with Apple about that. I even sent them my passport. Alright, according to this, everything should be working fine. I just need to find out what the version number I was using before. I don't remember how you do that. Sorry, this is not interesting viewing right now. Why is my PS4 making so much noise? It's not even on. The light's on yellow. I really like when I'm playing it in widescreen. It's great. Yeah, okay. Okay, so that was 21, my last version that I uploaded, I think. So I'm gonna make it 22, I think. So let's call it 22. iOS, which should be ticked. Why was that not ticked? Okay, things are starting to make sense now. Okay, right, so I want to make it landscape. Don't even know what engine. Canvas Plus, maybe? I think that's what I want to be using. WebView engine. Can I use Canvas Plus? Okay, right, let's compile it. Version 22. Should probably make it. The reason I have like this crazy 3.9.9.1 was because that was what the Windows version that I did way back in the day that you can't even buy anymore. That's what that used. But I never got any of my money for that. I sold 2 copies on the Windows 7. Is it Windows 7? Yeah, Windows 7 store. I put this game on. It was the first launch of Jack Nimble was on the Windows 7 store, and it sold 2 copies. One to my friend's girlfriend, and another to somebody who emailed me quite a few times asking why I wasn't updating it in line with the iOS version. And I simply responded with, because you are one of 2 people who bought it, and I needed to update my EULA, you know, the EULA, like, basically terms and conditions document, and I didn't, and Microsoft took the game off the store, and I would have to have re-added it, basically. It wouldn't have been much work, but it was some work. And yeah, I had to update that, it got taken down, and then they changed the way the store worked, and I didn't go back to it, so I just said, you're one of 2 people, and I gave him a free copy of the iOS version. I don't think he had an iPhone, but it's a free game, and it's in line with what he wanted, it's just he couldn't run it. I wasn't going to do like a bunch of work for one person, as much as everyone is important to me. That would have taken me quite some time to get the Windows version working. If that guy is out there and still cares, I will be making a Steam version one day, and if he contacts me from that same email address, I will give him a free version. That's the best I can do. Did I just hit compile and it was instantly ready, or is that my imagination? I think it was my imagination. But yeah, so I was looking at let's look at the iTunes Connect page for a second and see what it's called. So it's the 2-year anniversary update. Not lying there. New features, added achievements, added 6 new characters, some secret. Don't know why that's relevant. Added 3 new levels, 3 new music tracks, 7 new color schemes. Color selection screen, added new character selection screen, updated the map, updated title screen, updated splash screen, new app icon, added stats screen, reduced file size overall. Added in-game manual, reduced file size overall, added some secrets, bug fixes fixed. Those bug fixes are... There's way more bug fixes than that. Let's see. And many more. Not saying there was a lot of bugs, but there were quite a few. I didn't really get reports of them. Yeah, I think that's everything. Added achievements, 6 new characters. Achievements were like the #1 thing that people wanted from the game. Oh, they also wanted a level progression thing where they'd unlock things unlock levels over time. But yeah, so this is new. I need to use the Media Manager, which I'm assuming is only on the Mac, so I'll have to run that at some point. Yeah, because this stuff's ancient. JetBeNimbleGame.com, Noonan design. Yeah, my keywords, I'm not really sure what to write in those. Like a platformer, Nimble. Probably have the word Jack in there somewhere. Pixel art, retro, Game Boy, Castlevania, obviously. The word runner in Japanese. I should probably have a Japanese entry to cover this, but winter. I don't know why winter's in there. I guess that was because of when I was releasing that version. I should probably put Jack in there instead. Yeah. Maybe B? Well, it filled all the slots I've got, so build 21. So yeah, that's... I can update this app icon as well. I'm looking quite forward to doing it. I mean, that was my last attempt at it. Like, but I'm not really a very good illustrator. Like, I can do game art just about, but when it comes to, like, you know, backgrounds and stuff like that, like, it could be a lot better. Oh, don't want to give all my details away there. up to date? No, they're not. They're the wrong details anyway. Yeah, I really should update that. Yes, I still have to look my own phone number up because that's wrong on there. Okay. Yeah, so I don't know what would happen if you called the number that was on there then, but it won't be me. Yeah. Routing app coverage file. I don't know what that is. Yeah, I can save this stuff. That's updated the. There's a little bit less work to do later on anyway. I still need to test all my achievements and the scoreboards on an iOS device as well. Got a lot of work to do this week, actual work. And I'm meant to be going to see my parents this weekend coming. In fact, I've got to. I've been back in the country for a year and I've not seen them. I left this country, what, 4 years ago? Which means, yeah, I've not seen my family in 4 years. I am a terrible human being. So I can't get out of it, I've got to go. But that does mean this game's going to get delayed. I can work on parts of it on the train anyway. Okay, right, saving that again for some reason. Don't actually know what I did. Close a sec. I'm gonna check Cocoon.io and see if it's... Oh, it's actually built already. It's crazy. Huh. Okay, maybe I can test it, like, really soon. But can I test it now? Not on here, I can't. I need to go back to my Mac. Oh, that's annoying. I want to be able to develop everything in one place. I would be tempted to get an actual Mac computer. I've got a MacBook, an Air, but I'd be tempted to get an actual Mac if my engine, well, not my engine, but Construct worked on Mac. I hear Construct 3 is going to, but they've got a lot to compete with GameMaker because the new GameMaker looks... Yeah, looks really good. I'm really tempted to jump in on that. It's a shame because I know this engine so well. Like, in fact, because I'm probably not going to do more work on this, but I'm going to do. This is going to be a little treat, tiny treat. So I was working on what could potentially be a follow-up to my game. Potentially. So I was working on this. Obviously, it's very similar. Do I need a controller for this? No, I can play on keyboard. So it's really basic. It's just kind of... I just wanted to get like a movement controller in. Obviously, like that's not an enemy or anything. It's just a dude. I was just trying out some different ideas. So yeah, I've got jumping in. It's not quite as fluid as I would have liked. But yeah, I've got like some physics in, so you can jump different heights. You can, when you change direction, there's a little skid and stuff. Like, and ladders work. You can go up and down ladders. I think you can. You jump and yeah, you can jump and grab back on, and you can. I think there's a problem when you drop. So I think if you, I think there might be a bug somewhere, but yeah, when you go up, you get popped at the top. Leaves a little gap sometimes. Not completely perfect, but I mean, I'm just testing some ideas at this stage. Yeah, so you can go down ladders, go up ladders. As I said, got the change direction stuff in. When you when you jump, your speed is slowed down a little bit. Oh, I just found a bug. Yeah. Yeah, so you can kind of stop on the spot and it looks a bit weird, but yeah. So yeah, not a lot there, but I thought it was a nice little I don't know, nice little demo. To be honest, the main reason I wanted to do it was just to see if I could update the sprite in a way that it would work, you know, in a platform game, and it does. It works fine. He's got like, as for what I added frame wise, when he stands still, his idle is a bit, he blinks, but his legs are kind of, his feet are facing forwards, well, forwards and to the side. So that's a new frame of animation, and obviously there's the turning around animation like that, well, when you're going kind of fast. And that meant making, like, adding to the particle effects on the feet. And obviously there's the new climbing animation, which looks surprisingly smooth. Almost off-putting how smooth that looks. Yeah, ladders aren't perfect, but they're pretty good. One of the things that sucks right now with them is that when you jump, and say you're holding up to move up, and I jump, I have to hit the like, you can hear me hitting like a load of keys, I guess. Like, I can't hold up and jump past the ladder and automatically go onto it. I need to hit up the second I touch the ladder, which, I mean, you sort of do expect, I guess, in some games. It's hard to say, but it does feel pretty good. I mean, on keyboard it always feels a tiny bit clunky because you gotta, like, kind of, whenever you're doing any precision, like, sort of movement, you're always like hammering the up button or down button to grab on a ladder, and it doesn't quite feel as nice as it would if you were just, you know, rolling your thumb across the D-pad or something. But yeah, I might come back to this and maybe make candles destructible and maybe do something with an AI dude, like make him float around or something. Yeah, I thought it was a nice little thing to take my mind off stuff, reuse some of the assets in different ways. Obviously the ladders and the little platforms are different, but yeah, thought it was kind of cool. I might come back to it and make the candles whippable and, yeah, make the guy, like, as I said, float around the level a little bit. And yeah, just thought it was cool. Nice little bonus for the end of this video. Yeah, obviously there's no audio or anything for it, but yeah, the reason I opened that actually was because oh, sorry, I didn't have the chat open. I'm using Construct 2. Let me get a link to it. And you can get it for free here. Yes, free. There's a couple of limitations on the free version. You see these. Is it also online? How do you mean by online? It should work on Windows XP. Maybe not, but it should do. I don't know what the requirements are. I'm not sure. It might work on XP. It's worth trying. I mean, it is free, so it's not going to cost you anything. Yeah, I think it's excellent for beginners. Yeah, I think I've obviously worked in games for quite a few years, but I'm a designer. I'm not a programmer. So I script usually. Like I've worked in Unreal, I've worked in CryEngine, I've worked a little bit in Unity. Although in Unity I was working as an artist primarily, but that means I use a lot of visual scripting, which is quite similar to what you use in this. So yeah, this is the kind of thing you're doing. Like you basically have these blocks, and then there's just lists of blocks of script, really. So when will my game be released? This year, I think. Well, probably next month. Probably. I would like it to be this month, but maybe next month. I don't know. But yeah, like it's you have a list of conditions and actions. So when a condition's true, the action will happen. It's pretty straightforward. There's some really good tutorials on just showing how easy it is to work in. Yeah, my game should be out as soon as I can get it done, really. I mean, it is done, I just need to get it on iOS, which I'm probably going to be trying tonight after this video. But yeah, let's just say 2016. I just realised how much faster the chat is compared to the stream. I need to sort that out. Yeah, what's a good example I can give of how this script works? What's the most simple thing I've got? I don't have many simple things anymore, because obviously simple things become complicated things over time, right? Well, here's a good example. Where am I on the menu? So you see these Jack B. Nimble logos in the background that are just scrolling down right. If I jump to the character screen, you can see it as well in the background. So there's basically a couple of elements that do that. Where is it? I need to go to... No, I need to go to the screen. So you can see this, this, and this. These are all the same object, quote scrolling, and basically they are a bullet, like you fire from a gun or whatever in this game, but that sends it in a linear direction, and I'm basically sending it in a linear direction 180 degrees. So its normal direction 0, which is right, and I'm sending it, well, 0 must be left, I guess, because I'm sending it 180 degrees, so I'm sending it right across the screen, and I'm also sending it in -90 because I want to send it down, so it moves diagonal down the screen. Well, if you're 11, it's a really good time to start, like it is. So basically these two elements move down the screen because I'm telling them to go right and down, if that makes any sense. And the condition is that it's on the start of the layout, so that's basically when, where is it? When this layout, which is basically a level, when this level starts, it will, the first thing it'll do before any of the rest of the script, a little more complicated script, the easy thing is, the first thing it does is an easy operation. It's basically sending, sorry, I keep clicking on the wrong thing. It's sending all of these, everything with this name, is going that way down the screen. So yeah, that's basically as simple as I can explain how this script works, how this engine works. But it's definitely great for beginners. I've taught it to, back at when I worked at Ubisoft, I had a chance to help with a teaching program where I taught a bunch of teaching assistants how to make the how to make a very simple platform game in it over a day, and they then went on to teach a bunch of students how to do it, and yeah, it was quite successful, and they all made games. Some of them were quite advanced games as well, within a month period. So I would say you can make things quite quickly in this and learn how to work in bigger games as well from here. It's really quite it's really quite accessible, I think. I didn't realise that was there. Or that. Interesting. Okay, I just found some cheats I need to remove. Yeah, I mean, if you got a Dell, that's fine. Like, this thing will run on anything. It's, you know, it's quite simple. You can make a lot of different types of games in it. Like, I happen to make an infinite runner because way back when I thought it would be the easiest game to make. Kind of wrong. I probably would have made, if I made a shmup, it would have been a lot easier, I think. Yeah, I cannot recommend this enough to beginners. It's a really good engine. It's also good for game jams as well. Mainly solo jams. It's not the easiest engine to work in with groups of people. That's something that I think it falls short on. It's not very good for working with teams, but it's a really good solo engine. Go fast. But yeah, I'm so jealous of people who are that young and have the ability to work in these types of engines and stuff. Like, when I was that age, you basically had to be a programmer, and it was just so inaccessible back then. I'm always surprised when I hear people who, even back then, were able to film things that there's no way I just didn't have that capacity. I used to make levels. I don't know what year Duke Nukem came out, but I made levels for that. They weren't very good, but I make levels for a living now, so I think that's kind of what set me down that path. Yeah. But yeah, like I said, I only opened up that other game just to kind of as a closing statement, I guess. Something I was messing around with. Yeah, so I don't think I'll be streaming for the next few days. I might on Tuesday, actually. I like to have Mondays off. But I might on Tuesday because I've got a feeling we've got a live stream at the end of the week on Star Citizen, so I've got a feeling I'm going to be busy later in the week. A pretty strong feeling I'll be busy later in the week, so maybe Tuesday will be a good sort of get to show some face and keep working on the game. But yeah, probably back on Tuesday. I'll be around 9 o'clock. What time is it? Oh, it's after midnight. That's why I was tired. Okay, right. I'm calling it here. I'm still going to try and run the game on an iPhone, but yeah, for now, that's all she wrote. So thanks for watching, and I'll be back on Tuesday. Night, everyone.